Na, 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 na.
I love that I have call center headsets.
TNT, baby. Morocco to Puerto Rico. 20 years deep. We're just getting started. He from the island, son. Came from the sand and spice. Two dads, same hard days. Still we show up every night. We talk pop, we talk pain. We talk life, straight and true. Foreigners in our own way. But we always break through. Been brothers for 2 decades. Now we bring the whole truth. One mic, two worlds. And this is TNT for you. TNT, TNT. We speak our truth, you see. TNT, TNT. From the coast to the sea. TNT, TNT. Two dads, one family. TNT, TNT. That's how we set it free. Morocco and Puerto Rico. 20 years and counting.
Hell
This
yeah,
is just
dude.
the beginning.
Yeah,
Hang
yeah,
on, hang
yeah.
on.
We speak
Uh-huh.
truth, you see.
Uh-huh.
From the coast to the sea. Two dads, one family.
Yo, what's up,
Yeah,
players?
dude.
That's how we set it free.
Welcome to Tahine and Tostones TNT episode 2. I had to
Dude,
switch
I'm
it
loving
up,
the
dude.
song. Yeah, I feel like
Thank
I
you,
should be in
man.
a yacht, like in the 80s. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, I always put myself in a box. I'm always like, it has to be hip hop, underground, or
Yeah.
R&B. I'm like, dude, fucking
Nah,
lighten
dude.
up, man. Why don't you have a fun little show jingle?
I fucking
Uh,
love it, dude. That's awesome, and
yeah,
it goes
dude.
perfectly well with my pink drink.
Oh shit,
You
what
know
you
what I mean?
what you sipping on, dog?
I got Passoa passion fruit rum with fresh
Mhm.
squeezed oranges, a little splash of lime, and cheap Puerto Rican seltzer water.
Silly, dude.
It's delicious.
I kind of sleep on your cocktail game a little bit.
Yeah, dude.
I never tried Negronis until you told me about them. I tried my first one actually in Boston this
Oh,
past week,
nice,
and
nice. How'd that go?
yeah,
Because they can mess you up if you let them.
I know I didn't love it, but I think it was the Oath Zempic speaking, and not
That makes sense.
you
Yeah,
know, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but actually I do want to talk about the Boston trip, but there's a lot to get
yeah, dude.
into, obviously. Um,
Really? Thought it was gonna
yeah,
be a quick, lighthearted show. I don't know.
it's it's been a busy I guess TNT is now the exclusive home of Othman's voice, of my voice.
Wow, dude,
So,
that's
yeah.
big.
And
It's interesting, dude. I can't wait to get
yeah.
into it because as your buddy and as your co-host here, but
Mhm.
also as an IDM listener, my head's been all over the place with all this going on. But we'll get into
Yeah.
it. I'm just saying it's a weird spot to be in for me, making it selfish. Making it about me. It's a really weird spot to be in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know. It's
Um,
I mean, I'll try to make it fun, but it's honestly a little bit of a downer to talk about, but whatever. We'll make it
yeah.
fun. Um
Lord.
Christian caught on to something. Did you hear in the show intro it says two dads, one family? I don't know how that
I
slipped
got it.
in through the
I, I love how AI is predictive. Like it can just kind of like it got the vibe.
yeah. They are gay. They are gay.
Clearly.
Nah,
That's
man,
funny.
but
We got to
yeah,
keep that
plenty
in.
to get to. I want to talk about my trip to Boston. I
Yeah, dude.
guess you had a fucking disaster or damn near
Yeah.
disaster over there in Puerto
Pretty
Rico.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some drama in my neighborhood I wanted to chat about.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, guys, this is episode 2. I just want to make something clear. I know
Yeah.
Angel's camera isn't the best, you know, and your mic actually sounds pretty good. I'm not unhappy with that.
Yeah, I've been testing some stuff out. I might have to get because I do have a new computer. It's a new laptop, and the headset. Even though I look like I'm in a call center, like I think somebody said Christian, I think it was, but it sounds good. The internet's strong. I think I just have to improve my camera somehow.
Yeah,
But I'll try to
I
get on that
honestly
as soon
think I'm
as
going to send
possible.
you the extra MacBook I have. I don't know why, but StreamYard seems to work better on Apples than PCs
Okay,
or
maybe.
but whatever.
Yeah,
Anyways, point is we're gonna improve things, we're just getting started.
yeah,
Um But also,
Yeah,
I want
we kind of had to go, on the run. Like, we started without too much prep. You know
yeah,
what I
we
mean?
kind of yeah, what do they say? What do white people say? Flying by the seat of our pants or something?
There we go, something like
Yeah.
that.
Um, but yeah, and also I wanted to point out tonight is the first night of our bonus content, our Patreon. We launched our
Oh,
Patreon. We
nice.
got a decent amount of
Yeah,
people
dude.
that subscribe to it. So yeah,
Yeah,
if we're gonna
I'm
do
super
extra
excited.
episodes, yeah, for sure. So we're gonna do extra episodes every week. Patreon.com/. Tajin and Tostones.
Yeah,
And
man.
there are different tiers you can sign up for, but the premium subscribers get their names over here on the bottom and the little
Yeah,
scroll. So
yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah,
And I was
man.
thinking we can tweak it a little bit because I do want, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I want this to be a pretty interactive type of show. Like, I like the fact
Yeah.
that we have people commenting, and I want to get the vibe of like you're just hanging out at the bar, just talking
Mhm.
about anything. So if especially like the premium Starbucks subscribers, if they have something to say, like, please message in. We'll like a topic or something. Not that we're gonna do a bunch of topics, but you know what I mean. Something that you liked from previous show, or you want follow up. Like, I want it to be very interactive, and I think we should tweak that a little bit with the different membership subscriptions. How much say they have in the show. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's a good call.
Just an
That's a good
idea.
call. For sure,
Yeah.
man, for sure. So, yeah, so thanks for everyone who's already signed up. We appreciate y'all. But, yeah, man, I like to start the show, light, not too heavy.
Okay.
How's Puerto Rico? How's PR this week? How's,
It's good. It's good. It's been interesting, dude. I've been here for a couple of years, and it's like every time something happens, I'm like, this would only happen here. Like, for example, it's something that happens all the time, but every time it happens, I'm like, I've never even thought about it. Like, did you know that dust? I'm not kidding you. Like, sand from the Sahara Desert lands in Puerto Rico once a year.
damn, so, I mean, the Sahara is basically Morocco. So,
Actually, it's very synergistic with what we got going on here.
yeah,
Yeah, like,
dude.
and I didn't believe it. I remember growing up, people would be like, "Oh, it's the Sahara dust," when it would get like hot and like dusty around here, and I'd be like, "Oh,
Mhm,
what are you guys talking about?" And then I was watching like a nature show with my kids, Our Universe or something on Netflix, and
mhm.
it had a whole episode about how like the windstorms in the Sahara like push out the dust into the Atlantic Ocean, and then that feeds a bunch of the plankton and blah 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 blah, and eventually it just lands in Puerto Rico, and it just makes it hot and muggy and dry. Your cars get dusty. Like, it's a pretty awful time when the Sahara Desert dust comes here. And
Damn.
at the same time, we're on a drought. It's been like over a month that it hasn't rained, which is technically rainy season here. So everything's dry,
Mhm.
um, including my grass. I look like a hobo, dude. My grass is completely brown. It looks like I'm already kind of like the Beverly Hillbillies of my neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
right.
we bought a house that we probably shouldn't afford. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're like
And
you're the
so,
black guy of the neighborhood. Not black guy,
yeah,
guys. I said you're
yeah,
the right.
yeah. The sore, yeah. I get what you mean.
Yeah.
But so like all my neighbors have like full sprinkler systems to try to keep the grass green, and they have like gardeners that come, and I'm just there on my own with like the hose, like just throwing water into the grass. You know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
just brown and dry and horrendous.
Yeah.
And and then we're also getting forest fires here. So
Forest
last
fires?
week or 2 weeks ago, almost, yeah, 2 weeks ago, I'm sleeping my son, my wife is sleeping our daughter, whatever. I get out of the room, I walk by and I hear this noise, like a shower. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like,
Mm.
okay, I guess my wife is taking a shower, whatever. So I'm getting ready, but it was kind of loud. You know what I mean? So I was like, what? So I peek into the bathroom and she's not taking a shower, but I see like this red glowing like light. I was like, what the hell is this? And I walk over and I go to like the other room and I look out the window and across from one side of our house, there's a car that pulls over. Normally there's no people. We live at the top of a hill. And like five different people come out of their cars and with their phones out just pointing. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
what? This is weird as shit. So now I'm like, what are these like nosy people doing? Or are they gonna rob us or what? So I go
Yeah.
over to the front door and I try to open it and I could feel heat coming from the door. And I was like, holy shit. And as I
Oh
open
my
it,
god.
we have a very nice house in front of us on one side, and on the other side, there's an abandoned, used to be a giant, mostly wood house,
Uh-huh.
completely in flames, dude. It is just an inferno. The sky is red, like people could see it from like miles away, and they were driving up our hill so that they could, everybody wants to put it on their phones. So
Yeah.
everybody's recording this like fire, and my wife is just standing out there staring at this fire. And I was like, "What the? Did anybody call like the fire department?" She's like, "Yeah, I called." And dude,
They're just
have you ever
taking
been
their
in a
sweet ass
situation where
time.
you feel like you're supposed to be the man of the house. You're supposed to know what's going on. You know what I mean? And like all I
Yeah.
could think about was, okay, well, I touched the doorknob to make sure it wasn't hot. Other than that, that's as far as my fire training goes. I was like, what do I do here, dude? You know what I mean? Like my kids
I
are
think you're
asleep.
supposed to stop, drop, and roll. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
So like I ran inside and I grabbed my like little fire extinguisher, which isn't gonna do shit. I mean, it's an entire house just completely in flames. And so I'm just standing there with my fire hydrant in my hand, just in case. I figured if like, I don't know, ashes fell on the door and caught on fire, I'd try to put it out or something.
Oh my god, dude. I have the video here that you
Okay.
sent over. Let
Oh,
me
nice. Yeah.
let me show that
Maybe
to
I'll I'll,
them.
I'll talk over it because I think there's like some random person coughing in the video, but I'll talk
Okay.
over it real quick.
All right.
If you don't mind.
Maybe I'll mute it or something like that. All right, here we go. Nee, 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 nee. You want to give a shout out to the dogs in the or dogs. The
Yeah.
we're gonna have to come up with a new name.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Well,
you know,
well, you
Matt Star
pick it
Trek
up.
said tadpoles. I kind of like that, but you want
Ooh.
to give a
Well,
shout
but
out to
then they'd
people
end up boiled.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You want to give a shout out to
Yeah,
them
dude.
real quick while I pull this up?
Yeah, man. The premium Starbucks subscribers.
No,
We
no,
got
not those
Aaron
guys.
Jerry.
Just the people
Oh.
in the chat. You know.
Oh, yeah, man. Let me see. We got Christian L07, who called out the two dads, one family, part of the video. So what's going on? We got my man Matt Starchak came up with the tadpoles idea. I kind of like, but we'll tweak it a little bit. Ernesto, Lord Bears. Pretty sure that's Ernesto
Yeah,
Ladon,
Ernesto
our
Ladon, that's
boy.
our dog.
Yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
said that's not. Do you have a Venmo for the show? Since I don't think you can take super chats yet. That's you know what? That's very nice. Ernesto. Yeah,
Thank you.
just
Wow.
at Othman, Othman. You know what I thought I was thinking about? I don't know.
Mhm.
I think I'm just gonna we're gonna use the first I guess couple months of money that we make and try to get you
Yeah.
a decent mic setup. So
Yeah, that works. That works.
so
I was
anyways.
gonna try to upgrade it and then reimburse myself eventually. But yeah, that works.
Yeah. Yeah, but thanks, Ernesto. Yeah, at Othman. All right, so here it is. Here's the video. This shit looks insane.
Holla 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 Slizot. Let's see.
Holla. All right, here we go.
Oh, there's the coughing. So the house with the palm trees and the white light is my house. The smoking inferno is coming literally across the street from us. It had to be 20 feet away. So that's what everyone was seeing. And all that smoke it wasn't going into our house yet. It was just shooting straight up because there was so much fire. But all the ashes, and like I said, the grass was green. I mean, the grass is dry. That wooden house, the house next to it they have like fake, like, what is it? The grass they use in football fields, like plastic grass. So
Yeah.
the point is, yeah, they have turf. They have turf in their yard instead of grass. And just so my point is, everything is flammable, dude. And this thing is
Bro.
just going up. And so we call that's the person coughing, which is
Yeah.
an exaggeration. It had just started. This video, literally, they took this video like as it was happening. So
Oh,
there's no way they.
Who is that?
Yeah.
Is that your neighbor?
I don't know from the angle. It should be a neighbor that I know. It's an older lady,
Yeah.
but she wouldn't have taken a video and posted it because I got this on Facebook, I think.
Oh,
one
okay,
video.
okay. Make
Yeah,
it all
'cause I'm-
about her. Oh
Yeah,
my,
Puerto Rican
I can't
Facebook
breathe.
was all-
I can't breathe.
Yeah,
Chill out, old lady.
yeah, dude.
Damn,
So
dude, this is insane.
as this is happening, dude, so the police got there before the firefighters. The police come out and they get out of their cars and they pull out their phones and they're just recording as well. Like nobody's
my
doing anything. We're all just staring at this thing because it's so big. There's nothing you can't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And eventually, 2 fire trucks showed up. They actually came fairly quick. I want to say 5 to 7 minutes.
What do the
But
Puerto
here's
Rican sirens sound like on fire trucks?
no, that's the police. That's the police cars. the but so the fire trucks come up. They start throwing a little bit of water, right? But
Yeah.
then they just stop. And I was like, why are they stopping? And then I remembered, I was like, I've seen the one, what is it called? Fire extinguisher. What is it called? Where the firemen put the hose in. I'm so Spanish now.
The
Jesus
fire
Christ.
hydrant?
Fire hydrant. I've seen one
Yeah.
fire hydrant in our neighborhood, and it looks so old and rusted. There's no way there's any water in there. But they don't really
Yeah.
upgrade it. And so,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, yeah, it wasn't working. So then the two fire trucks just stood there in front of the fire and waited another 5 minutes for this giant water truck to just show up. And then they connected their hoses to the water truck, and then they were able to try to fight the fire.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
dude,
I would be
long story
so
short,
scared that it was gonna catch my house on fire if I were you. Like,
dude, it
it's
was
so
crazy.
close.
At one point, we had to. Well, the kids, my older daughter woke up from all the commotion. I was trying to calm her down. Once the firefighters were fighting it with the water, we were like, "All right, you can come out and check it out," because she was excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't know any
Yeah.
better. So she
Yeah.
checks it out. And then my son wakes up and he's screaming. I had to pick him up. And then at one point I realized, I was like, this is actually better because we might have to take off running. You know what I mean? Like if they can't figure this out.
Yeah, dude.
So
That's
they
insane.
they literally just control burned, let the house burn down to the ground, and then the woods next to the house started catching on fire.
Oh my God.
So they just controlled it and let the fire burning on the side. They stayed there for hours, but we were safe. But the
Yeah.
smoke going into our house, we had to close all the windows, try to run the AC, like circulating the same air. It just smelled horrendous. And then once they put out the fire, the smoke never stopped. And then because it was so dry and hot out here with the drought and the Sahara Desert and all that crap, smaller fires kept sprouting up. So the entire week, we would get 3 to 4 fires a day where we'd have to keep calling the firemen. It's like, hey, we got another one. Hey, we got another one. And they just keep coming back and turning it off.
Dang.
And yeah, dude. And then
That's
the craziest part was that the fire clearly was started by someone, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the house was abandoned and it was dry and there's like forest fires, but we don't live in a forest. And it's just randomly like in the middle of the night, a wooden house catches on fire. You know what I mean? Like if there's sunlight and it like catches a bottle like in the movies or something, maybe. You know what I mean? Or if it's a
Yeah.
newer house and there was a gas leak or something. This house has been abandoned for years.
Yeah, dude. Dude, arsonists are like, I don't know why, but I put it on the same level as like being a serial killer. Like it's so
Yeah.
fucking crazy and like such, I don't know, like thirst for, I mean,
Yeah.
dude, if it goes the
Well-
arsonist way, people are trapped in houses and they burn to death. Like,
Well, here's the crazy part. So let me back it up. So when we're out there, we're waiting. When the fire trucks show up, the firefighters are jumping out. Pretty much all the neighbors are out. There's also people, like I said, from the street that just came to watch and record and try to get views on Twitch or whatever. There's this guy with like a traffic vest on, and he's running around and he's telling the firefighters like over here and this and that, and they're but he's kind of like on the outside. And I'm standing there with my wife, and I see, and there's like this little dirt bike on our yard, just parked. I was like, not dirt bike, but a dirt motorbike, not a bicycle, but a motorcycle,
Yeah.
like an off road. So I'm like, hey, do you know whose bike this is? And she's like, yeah, it's that guy's, and it's the guy that he had a traffic vest on. He's running around talking to the fireman. So he walks over, and I was like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like, yeah, that's crazy. This is crazy. What a fire. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty huge. And luckily the fire, luckily you guys made it here because I assumed he was a firefighter. But as I'm paying attention, I'm like, well, he doesn't look like a firefighter. You know what I mean? He just looked like kind of a weird dude. You know what I mean? You when you get that inkling like something's up. So I keep asking him. I was like, so are you with them or are you with the cops or who are you with? And he's like, no. I was driving by. I was out with these girls, and he just had this elaborate story that he was like riding his bike with some girls, and then he lost his phone, and then he saw the fire, so he came up to check it out, and then he knows a firefighter, so he like called, blah 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 blah, and it was just the most elaborate. Like nobody has this much of an elaborate alibi unless you did something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the motherfucker who did it. And as he's
Dang.
standing there, he's like whistling at the firefighters, like, yo, what's up, man? And they're just looking at him like annoyed. And then the cops are there in the side. He's like, yo, I think this is something criminal. This doesn't seem like a normal fire, right? You know what I mean? And he's like, and you could tell that it's like what you said. It's like what the arsonists get a kick out of is seeing the fire and then like flaunting it in front of the police because there's no evidence. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
everyone just kind of picks up that this is the weirdo who's out of place. He's not part of the neighborhood. He knew exactly what was going on. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
like
dude.
egging the cops on. He's talking to the firefighters, this and that. And then, like, once the flame was starting to go down, jumped on his little bike and he just took off.
Oh
And I was
my
like, this
God.
motherfucker did it, but you can't do anything about it. There's no evidence. There's no nothing other than, I know you weirdo. You did it.
Yeah. 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 I mean, there is evidence, but I mean, yeah. I was
No,
just thinking of
not here.
yeah. It would also
Everything burnt to the ground.
yeah. No, I was just thinking like I know there's fire investigators who they can tell if something is
Oh,
purposely done,
yeah,
but I don't know if they can like, run fingerprints on, something
exactly.
that's already burnt to ashes and shit like that.
Yeah. So
Damn, dude,
it
that's
was
crazy.
pretty
That's
nuts.
scary, man.
Just seeing that burn down, and after the fear of your family's safety, you got to deal with the guy who did it. He's just standing there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, dude. That's nuts,
it
man.
was pretty crazy.
Well, I'm glad
Yeah.
I'm
So
glad you're doing
that's life in Puerto Rico right now.
all right, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I was just asking like how your day was going.
Yeah.
But that's nuts, man. That's nuts. Well,
Yeah, dude.
hopefully they get that dude. But all right, you know what? I tease this on Twitter and the IDM Reddit or whatever. But
Yeah.
I guess we should get into it.
Yeah, man.
I have formally officially decided to leave IDM as of today. I'm done. I'm not doing a bit. I'm not just fucking saying it for attention, although that is something that I would do. Um well, I guess the place I can start is well for listeners who tuned in last night to the super secret sports chat, the Straight Trion episode. And
Yeah.
I know there are listeners who are checking this show out that don't care about IDM, so I'll try to explain everything with as much detail as possible to fill everyone in. But so there was a show last night we did for Straight Trion.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? Let me rewind a little bit. Shorts and I had kind of like a big not falling out, but just we butt heads pretty hard, pause, about a month ago over like some
Yeah.
show related stuff. And I had given him a list of, not even a list, 3 things I needed him to agree to, because
Yeah.
and anyone listening can hear that like the show is getting worse, it's deteriorating, and shit is going on with him that like he needs to take care of. And so I asked him to take a break, take a 1 month break from the show.
Yeah.
I asked him to like try to figure out what he needs to do to get his head right. And I told him that I was going to start something on the side because I didn't really trust like hitching my wagon to his anymore for the long term.
Yeah. And I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
But
it's all good.
to be fair to you too, this was like you guys were butting heads, but it's not like it was the first time where it came out of nowhere. Like it was kind of a bit of a recurring issue that just kept building up until you felt like you had to give him an ultimatum, which is what you did. It seems like. Yeah, it's not like you just did that right off the bat the first time you guys butted heads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
I just
true.
wanted to clarify that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So he agreed to that. He's like, that's a good idea. Blah blah. Let's do that. I'm like, all right, cool. So your month starts now. And then I did a show on IDM explaining to everybody what was happening, just to try to like keep everyone in from being in the dark on that store or on what was going on with the show. And then the night that I'm doing the show by myself, he posts something saying, "We're doing the month of Junkies," and it's going to be me and all the junkies and just shorts, purposely excluding my name off of the flyer or whatever.
Yeah.
So that confused everybody. Everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Othman just did a whole hour and a half podcast about like why the show's taking a break. What's up?
And also before that, and I'm not trying to add flames to the fire. Like I said, I feel like I'm in a weird spot here. But
No, dude, add whatever
before
details you
before
think need to be
before
mentioned.
that happened, if I remember correctly, you were going to do an oath cast explaining what was going on, and he got on. No, your daughter was sick, and you guys had rescheduled the show, and you guys had talked about it, and then all of a sudden he got on and posted a video basically quitting himself. Remember that?
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he did
yeah.
like a little 2-minute video where he quit, and then you guys talked about taking the time off, and he agreed, and then didn't, everything where you're at right now. But I don't want to skip over that because I want to give him all the benefit of the doubt, but he did have plenty of chances. You know what I mean? I don't want
Yeah.
to condense it for the sake of conversation here. I want to put everything out there.
Yeah. It all started with him texting me one day saying, "I think I need to take a break from the show. I need to get my
Which
life
is
right, blah, blah,
reasonable.
blah." Yeah. And
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
like, dude, I agree, I can tell shit is like, shit is not going well for you, and you need to
Yeah.
you need to focus on shit that is not IDM. And then he was like pissed off that I said that. And then the next day it was like, "Suck my dick if you think you're gonna get rid of me that easily." I'm like, dude, what is going on?
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, so he posted the thing. I'm doing the month of Junkies, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. Not only do I not know what's going on, the listeners don't know what's going on. And I just spent fucking 90 minutes trying to explain to them what's going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I texted him the next day. I was like, dude, what is this poster you put up? He's like explaining to me that how important he thinks it is to do the month of Junkies. And I was like, dude, I really want you to take a break. I'm not gonna fucking do the month of June because honestly, I know some people like it, but I'm over doing the month of Junkies. I love those guys, but like I feel like the bit has run its course. And it was also me kind of being like, dude, I'm not gonna participate in this thing you want to do to delay something that you need to do for your mental health. Like if you want to do it,
I think the timing of it was what was so worse. Like what was the worst part of it? Because creative differences. If you didn't think it was your favorite thing to do, whatever. But if you guys were in a better space, you'd probably just do it because it's always fun to talk to the junkies. I'm assuming for you guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the timing of it was what made it so horrendous. You know what I mean? Because you guys had just gone through all this about the time off, and then he's just kind of forcing this.
Yeah.
So,
and honestly, like I kind of just like when he was insisting on doing it, I was a little pissed off because I was like, I don't think you're understanding how important I think it is for you to take time off, dude.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
But if it's important to you, if you really want to do it, fuck it, do it, man. That's fine. But I'm gonna take some time off then because I think I also was like, I think we kind of need a break from each other a little bit, So he did 2 weeks. I was like, I'll hop on, and initially I was like, yo, man, I'll do a month. You take a month off because I think you need that time. And when I say I think he needs that time, I'm not talking shit. I'm not like he's a fucking mess. His life's a disaster. I'm like, yo, it seems like you're going through a lot, and like I want you to do whatever you have to do to fix it, or at least like get on the right path. Like take your time with this. It's serious. But then he was like, yo, I think a month of me taking a break is going to be bad for the show. He was like really worried about it. And I was like, all right, man, if you're that worried about it, fine, we can cut it down to 2 weeks, but only because he was telling me that I'm doing this to help myself and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So my week started this week and it was supposed to be his break. And remember, again, I'm already like a little bit worried that he's not taking it seriously because we're cutting, the time frames down and shit like that.
Yeah. And also as a listener, and I don't think I'm the only one, I think a lot of the listeners agree with you in the sense that like we could all tell, I don't know what's going on in his personal life, but we could all tell that for the show, he did need a break. Like he just needed some time to like, let's give it some space, breathe, and maybe he could like refocus or something. Like I don't think I'm speaking out of turn as a listener. I think a lot of the listeners probably thought the same thing, that it's for the good of the show. It made sense that he takes some of this time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would message me and they say like, "Yo, why does Shorts just?" I feel like I have to keep saying this because I don't want people to think I'm just like hopping on here and talk shit about Shorts. That's not what I'm trying to do at all.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
people would message me and be like, "Yo, why is he just like why does he just stop talking in the middle of sentences and you just gotta like jump in
Mm,
or why do you set up
yeah.
a topic for like 7 minutes and then he just goes yeah like and
Yeah.
like it wasn't always like that
No.
and I'm like
Yeah.
yeah I'd be lying if I said I didn't notice it too
Yeah.
um
Well,
so
that makes a lot of these shows good. That the chemistry, especially with you two, like people listening, we can tell when things are a little off. You know what I mean? Like it just feels different. Like we might not be able to pinpoint it, but you're right. For a while, something seemed off. You know what I mean?
yeah yeah
Um, so yeah, I think you're completely right, and I don't think we're here to bash Shorts. I don't know if he's gonna listen or anything. I mean, I love the guy. Um,
yeah
that's not the point here. It's just you're kind of just talking facts. You know what I mean? Like not to
yeah
be like facts, but
straight facts yeah.
yeah, straight fact.
So
Yeah.
this is my week. He's supposed to take a week. He's texting us in the #1 dad's chat. He's in Florida with his family. I'm like, oh nice. I mean, he can like he can be around people that are like nice to him and like really care about him and that'll like that'll
Yeah.
help recharge his batteries and shit like that. Like that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's sending us pictures of him and his. Go ahead,
And
son.
it seemed like he was taking the time off seriously finally. You know, me being the number
Yeah,
one
for
dad
sure.
chat. When I saw him, pictures of him with his family, I was like, "Oh, great! He's doing what feels like he needs to do." You know what I mean? Like I was kind
Yeah.
of excited about that when I first noticed it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, okay, cool. He's doing that. Let me figure out what we're gonna do for IDM. So I reach out to you. I reach out to Dotson. I reach out to Brennan Cooney. I reach out to a couple different people. And I remember that Bob the Builder and Mike Cook they pitched this idea of like them coming on the show and giving their side of things. Bob the Builder talking about what it was like being Shorts' boss on Shorts on the job site and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, guys, if you want to do that, why don't we do it? And they were like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. So Bob and Coop, another friend of ours, we're gonna hop on. Mike Cook couldn't make it, but they don't do podcasts a lot, right? Like they're just regular dudes. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking as I'm prepping to have them on the show, I'm like, all right, I gotta have these topics ready, let me figure out their audio settings and stuff like that because they're new to all this. Like I wanted to make sure that everything was like in the right place where it needed to be to do a good show with
Yep.
them,
Yeah.
So that was last night. The show's about to start. Coop joins the studio, waiting for Bob. Bob's having difficulty with his mic and his camera and all that shit. And so I'm like trying to work through that, trying to help him with it. And I do the starting soon thing and I let the listeners know, hey, we're going to join pretty soon. Like, so we're just trying to figure out mic settings. Next thing I know, the show starts and it goes live on YouTube. And I'm like, what the fuck? Coop, did you push something? And he's like, no. And I look like, why is I noticed that Shorts joined the studio. I'm like, what the fuck? Shorts just joined the studio and just started the show while I'm trying to figure out the mic shit with Bob. Like, what? And once you start a stream on YouTube, you can't like stop it and go back. Like you're live,
Yeah.
So Bob's mic was all fucked up. We're trying to figure that out. Also, Shorts is, I guess, joining the show. I'm like, what are you doing here, dude? You're supposed to, Coop is there. He's like just waiting, for us to do a show or whatever. And so we go live and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to figure out the mic thing with Bob on the air live. I'm like, oh, okay, so turn your settings, blah, blah, blah. And Shorts is like, join the studio, but his screen is blank. So I'm like, did he do this on, like, is he even here? I don't know what's going on,
And that's you know what you're doing. For Bob and Coop, like you said, like I'm not a podcaster, but I've been in enough, shows, guest hosting and stuff. And every time right before you start, it's like you kind of have an idea of in your mind of where it's going to go, or especially for those guys, I'm assuming you kind of told them, hey, this is the plan. You know what I mean? So they kind of have this idea in their mind. When something like this shows up, it throws so much chaos into the situation without even, like, I don't think people realize how disturbing it really is to what you're about to do when,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
have an idea of what they're going to do. They're kind of being coached by you know what I mean? Because you're the one that's doing all the technical work, because they wouldn't, obviously they don't know how to do any of that stuff. And all of a sudden all these curveballs start um, going their way. That is the most nerve-wracking thing ever as a guest. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when stuff, whatever you're imagining is going to happen, all of a sudden it's like completely off, and it causes people to freeze up. So you know, I
Yeah.
kind of feel bad for Bob and Coop. The little bit that I did watch seemed like they handled it fairly well, because I would have freaked out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just
But
so much
also,
going
dude,
on
in my
with
mind,
that.
I'm thinking like I'm a little pissed off because I'm like, yo, did you not understand like the agreement that we made? Like you're supposed to be fucking taking a break. Obviously, you're not taking it seriously, you know?
Yeah,
Like it's
and
not funny
borderline
to me. Like,
sabotage, because
yeah,
what I just said about, you know, knowing that it's going to throw it off and this and that, he should know better. Like, he's way
yeah,
more experienced. He knows better than these guys how much chaos that could cause to a guest or to a show. It's like,
yeah,
you know, I really don't see what his point was for any of this, other than to maybe not sabotage, but like intentions also go into your mind. Like, what was his intentions with this? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And I see a lot of comments in the chat. We'll get to these
Mm.
after I tell
Yeah,
the
yeah.
story. By the way, to listeners and on hell, your mic is breaking up a little bit here and there. That
Oh,
is something that we will
sorry.
get fixed on the show, guys.
Okay,
But
my bad.
I just
Yeah,
wanted to
I
make
think I also
everyone.
I start to touch my face and it kind of breaks it up a little bit. So
Oh
I
shit.
gotta
Okay. All
gotta
right. All
stay
right.
still. Maybe. Yeah.
So he joins the show. I'm like, dude, what is going? I'm a little pissed off, but I'm like, I don't want to make it awkward for Bob and Coop. Like, we just want to do a fun show. I'm not gonna fucking like shut down and yell at yell. I'm gonna try to make it a fun podcast as much as I can. What do you do? What's up, dude? What are you doing here? How's Florida? Blah blah. And like we talked to him for like 7 minutes, and instantly you could tell like he'd had a couple that night.
Mm,
Like instantly you're like, oh, dude, what? Not that he's not allowed to drink. I'm not saying that, but
sure.
you're like, okay, you're not in the right mind right now to be, and
Mm,
that's kind of like I feel like that might be why you're doing what you're doing right now.
mm,
Um, and so I'm like, "Ah, here we fucking go, And I try to be nice. I'm like, all right, man, good checking in with you. But I want to talk to these other dudes, like, uh, go enjoy Florida or whatever.
yeah.
And it took some convincing to get him to be like to leave. And instead of leaving the studio, he ends the stream. So everybody watching live, all the setting up shit that even though I wasn't done setting up, the settings for
Yeah.
Bob and all that was undone. Like
Mm,
I have to start up a new stream, put it up on YouTube, like get everyone to go to that link now. I have to start from scratch. And I'm like, dude, did he just end the fucking podcast after all that? Um,
yeah.
and so I'm pretty pissed off, but I'm like, I'm not gonna let it like put me in a mood. So I do a shitty show with these guys. Like, all right,
Mm,
Bob Coop, I'm gonna send you a new link because he ended the stream. Join that studio, and then we'll do the show from there. So that's why the first show, everyone listening who heard it, was like 11 minutes because he ended the stream.
yeah.
And so set up a new studio, blah blah blah. All right, guys, here's how you join, blah blah. Send them the link. They join. We're just getting started, we're trying to reset, do the show, like talk to them a little bit. And
Yeah.
then out of nowhere, I see Shorts joining the studio again, and he jumps on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on, dude? It feels
Yeah.
like you're trying to be a dick here,
Yeah.
and it's impossible to like get into the rhythm and flow of like a conversation when you have to deal with
Yeah. Of
this like
course.
random wild card that you're like, okay, I guess that's what we're going to talk about now. I guess we're going to have to
Mm,
figure out what we're doing here. And
yeah.
so we talked to him a little bit. He put his dad on. That was cool. It's cool talking to his dad, but it wasn't something that like I was prepared for, and also like I in the back of my mind again, I'm like, this dude's not taking the shit that I'm asking him to do seriously, you know.
Yeah.
And he's saying a lot of crazy shit that I don't think he would normally say.
Mhm.
And you know, maybe he would. I don't know, but everybody in the comments who was watching live were like, "Yo, what is this? Is crazy. This is really bad.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?" And
Yeah, I
so
think you played it off really well, but I think most of the people that were watching and listening were it was almost shocking in the sense
yeah,
of like I think everybody was or most people were like exactly what you're saying, like what is going on? And also he doesn't seem right. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Which makes it
yeah,
tougher because you don't like I mentioned earlier, you don't know what the intentions are, if he's just if he thinks he's having fun and it's not very fun, but it makes for a really awkward situation. Like you could feel the awkwardness. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And like Bob and Coop, I mean, they did a good job, but they were like,
Yeah.
they didn't know how to handle it. You know, they're like,
Of course not.
is this
Yeah.
is this part of the show? Or I guess is this what we're doing tonight? Or are we going to tell our
Yeah.
stories that we agreed to talk about? Like, you know, they
Yeah.
don't know. And so, uh, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, some of the shit Short said was funny. It was
Mhm.
definitely definitely over the top. Um,
Mm.
not in a way that it offended me, but I'm like, oh shit. I hope certain people don't hear that. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but it at the core of everything, all I was thinking in the back of my mind was like, we agreed to something that I told him was super serious and important to me, and it's
Mm.
just being fucking thrown in my face like it means nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So I eventually convinced him. I'm like, all right, man, you've had your fun, whatever. But dude, I'm trying to do a show with these two guys. They gave me their night. I'm trying to get their side of things. So enjoy your night, dude. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
peace out. He leaves and he ends the stream
A second time.
the second time. Yeah.
Okay.
So he ends the stream. Uh, Everyone in the chat who's like, "Yo, what's going on?" They're like, "What the fuck?" You know, like we gotta join another link. You got to send us another link. I'm talking to Bob and Coop. They don't even understand what's going on. Bob was still doing the show for like 2-3 minutes. I'm like, no, 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 Bob, it's
Yeah.
it's over again. You know.
Yeah.
uh, so it's like, yeah, he ended the stream. I don't know how he did it or why he did it, um, but I got to set up a new studio, you know, and we got to try to do it again. And
Yeah.
so that's why there was another 11-minute video or 11-minute episode.
Yeah.
And so I set up another stream. Keep in mind, I'm fucking salty, you know, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Of
fucking
course.
hold it in because I'm like, you've been here before where you're doing a podcast with someone who's like in a shit mood, and you're like,
Mm.
I guess I just gotta like deal with his shit mood for an hour now because he can't hold it together, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's not fun doing that. So I'm like, I don't want Bob and fucking Coop to
Yeah, of
sit here
course.
and So let me just
And they're
fucking yeah.
and they're not dumb. Like they're probably putting their best face forward. But they probably
Yeah.
I mean, they know for sure you have got to be furious because I mean, I know I would be, you know.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
like you said, it just messes them. It's really hard to do a fun show with those type of vibes around. Like I get
Yeah.
that. And they
Yeah,
do
yeah.
too, I'm sure. Yeah.
And then I'm thinking like, yo, we're like 30 minutes into this, and now I don't know if I how do I reset? Do I just start from the beginning and pretend none of that happened,
Mm.
or you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, start a new stream, send them the link. I'm like, all right, man, now we can finally do the show, whatever. Start the show. Hey, everybody, yeah, blah blah blah. Starting to get into it. All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
how tell me about your kid's snowboarding. That's cool. Coop's son is like a badass snowboarder and shit.
Mm.
And then next thing I know, Shorts joins the studio. I'm like, dude.
I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah.
you know, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's intentionally doing something to like fuck up what's going on or trying to piss me. I don't know what's going on, dude.
Yeah,
But
it honestly it felt a little bit and I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't even catch half of it because to me I know Shorts. You know what I mean? I could
Yeah.
tell that he's going through a tough time, but it's also like I didn't want to keep watching it. It was too much from my
Yeah.
from my perspective. I was like, I'm not gonna log back on to watch him self-sabotage this some more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it honestly felt like, when like radio stations like switch ownership or like whatever, like they have the one episode where they just like burn all the previous listeners to the ground before they start anew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. For
It
sure.
it kind of gave me those kind of vibes. And it
Yeah.
bummed me out. And I don't know if he was doing it on purpose or what, or if he even realized that that's the vibes he was putting out. But that's the vibes
Yeah.
I got. Like I've seen a couple people commenting that it almost felt like the last straw. It was
Yeah.
Star
It
Trek.
was tough to tell.
It,
Like in the moment, it's even tough to tell now. Like, were you
yeah,
just was he just doing wacky bits? Was there malintent behind that? Like, it obviously fucked me up, and it
yeah,
fucked the show up, Um.
yeah. And that's
Anyway,
what I
so
mean.
yeah,
Even if it was malintent or not, it just felt not right. You know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
don't think anybody was enjoying that. I'm assuming, but
Yeah, and I mean, again, the comments, dude. I was getting texts from the dogs. I was getting texts from
mm,
people being like, "Yo, is everything all right? Like, what's going on?" I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to, but I appreciate your concern. I appreciate you asking me, but I don't know,
yeah,
guys. I don't know what's happening. Uh, but so he hops back on in the studio, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'm scared to tell him peace out again because I don't want him fucking, to
yeah.
end the
To end the
show.
stream
So,
again. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm like, I guess we'll just try to do the show with you, And
yeah,
again, I'm gonna reiterate this for the third time. That made me the most angry out of everything because I'm like, what happened to this fucking break you're supposed to take that you're supposed to be serious
yeah.
about?
Mm,
Um, so I'm pissed off, but I'm like, whatever, we'll push through it, do the show, yada yada. And I see I see I posted it and Jen Montana, bless her heart, huge supporter. She
mm,
posted like on the post of the episode, she was like, that was the craziest or funniest episode I've ever heard, or something like that.
okay.
And oh, by the way, last night after the show, I had to take every single episode, all three, and like edit out the fucking awkward pauses and stuff while everyone was trying to figure out what's
Mm,
going on, and then mash them together. And so
yeah, try to
that added like
salvage.
another hour of work that I didn't want to have to do
Yeah,
that now. But anyways, so I post it. She said that, and then Shorts posts like an emoji, like winky face underneath it, and I'm like, okay, so now you're like aware of
yeah,
like what a shit show that was for us, and you're like, haha, like, you know, uh,
yeah,
I put my spin on that shit. He's not a good. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just didn't seem like
yeah,
a. And and then so the episodes go up. Um, everyone's. I mean, I don't even want to say everyone's split on it. Like, someone posted on the subreddit that this morning, like, how like, I'm not gonna read it word for word, but basically the gist of it was like that was really difficult and embarrassing to listen to. Like,
mm,
this has obviously gotten to a point where it's not funny anymore. The guy was even accusing me. He's like, Othman's doing Shorts no favors, blah blah. blah. I don't even think I can listen to this anymore.
yeah,
And I was like, I jumped in. I was like,
mm,
I agree with most of your points, but like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I agree
yeah.
that this is crazy, but nothing that I asked for or suggest is taken seriously. Like, what more can I do, man?
Yeah, you were literally in the middle of trying to, help him help himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
much more
And then
can you
like,
do?
he was like, well, maybe you could have not posted the episode. I'm like, yeah, that's an
Oh,
option. But
okay.
like, for every one person who thinks that, there are 5 listeners who are going to be like, what the fuck, dude? We're paying for this shit. Why aren't you giving us the episode that, you recorded? You
Yeah.
know? But anyways, so there's a whole subreddit. If you guys want to check it out. And then so this today, I'm like, this is honestly how I'm thinking. This is honestly how I'm feeling. I'm thinking that was a fucking shit show. That should never happen again. That can never happen again. But I feel like he just had like a really bad night last night and like wasn't in the right mind, and this was like something that hopefully he's going to learn from, So I'm pissed. I'm super pissed. And everybody in the comments is like, "Yo, I think that was the last straw." Like you said. But I'm thinking like, if he apologizes and he understands that he fucked up, like I think we can move past this. And so, because that's how I am, dude. I'm a pussy, I let people take advantage of me.
No, but also, I mean, you guys are friends. Like, you guys were podcast hosts, but you guys were friends before.
Yeah.
And, and hopefully we'll be friends after. So you expect, you're going to be way more lenient, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like if it was just an employee or a coworker, you'd be a lot less forgiving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he should, and he should also know that because I don't know where you're going with this, but I'm assuming he spoke to you afterwards. Like, did he have something to say about it, or like?
So all day I'm thinking like, all right, that was really bad. Everyone listening understands what I'm talking about now, where I'm coming from. Like that type of shit that type of behavior on top of like the outburst where he's like screaming at me for not taking the show seriously enough and shit like that. I'm like, those are the things that are really need to end for the show to be the show to continue,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, well, maybe he's thinking about it today and he's like, fuck, how do I approach Othman about like what happened last night, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And I'm going about my day, and he calls me out of the blue, and my daughter was homesick. I know Shorts doesn't believe me when I say my kids are sick, but my daughter's homesick. Jessica was on a call for work, and so I'm like hanging out with my daughter, trying to like feed her lunch or whatever. And so I texted him. I'm like, hey, I'll call you later. I was gonna call him when I take my kid to ballet afterwards, when I like have time.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, he likes it, and I'm like, all right, cool. He wanted to talk. He probably wanted to,
good,
tell me what happened last night, and yada yada. He texted me 2 hours later a screenshot of him and our guy Coop, who was on the show last night, having a conversation. I'm not going to read it word for word, but it was basically a long message that he sent to Coop about me. And the basic gist of this. Oh, wait. Before I tell you what I said, I spent like yesterday and today. I don't know if you noticed, but we got like a cool background on the show. We got a new show jingle. I got a show jingle for the Patreon version of the episode. I got intro video for the Patreon episode. So like, I was working on some TNT stuff.
Okay.
And one of the things I worked on was like setting up our Patreon and stuff. And I wanted to make sure that like you can add like recommended friends of your Patreon. So I added us as like a friend of IDM's Patreon.
Okay.
So anyways, I did all that. So I get this text from Shorts after I told him I would call him back. And it's a screenshot of a conversation between him and Coop. Coop I love. I'm not mad at Coop about anything. But the basic gist of it was like saying that I'm siphoning off listeners from IDM to my nude podcast. We should do a nude podcast.
That'd be great. the ultra premium Starbucks subscribers.
To my new podcast, and that's not what a good friend would do. Basically, suggesting that I'm just shit friend because I'm trying to steal the listeners of IDM and move them over to TNT. Dude, and there's a couple other things that pissed me off, but I was like, bro, after last night, he goes, just so you know where my head's at, or something like that. And I'm like, dude, are you fucking joking me, bro? After
So,
last night,
huh.
you don't even hit
So,
me with like a, hey, go ahead, sorry.
well, I was gonna say, so you think his call to you was to not to apologize or explain himself, but to give you shit for what he saw on the Patreon?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
And
Huh.
dude, and I'm like, dude, you don't even open the conversation with like, yo, I'm really sorry about fucking everything up for you last night. Like, I'm really sorry for my behavior.
Yeah.
You don't even have the fucking balls to like, are we living in the same reality right now? And in the screenshot, he's also saying shit like Othman will never answer my calls, blah 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 blah. He has this obsession with having a meeting with me. I sent him
Yeah.
literally yesterday. I sent him a text that said, "Hey, dude, I know these meetings are important to you. Send me an invite on my calendar so we can start doing them." And he goes, "Yeah, it could probably wait till I get back from Florida." So,
Okay.
so I proactively was like, "Yeah, if you want to do these, we can do this." And he was like, "Yeah, it can wait." The next day, he's complaining to Coop about how I never want to meet with him, blah, 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 blah. But I'm also a shit friend because I'm telling the IDM listeners that I'm doing something different.
Yeah. Which it's not like I'm not trying to defend ourselves here, but you spoke to him about this before. It's not
Yeah,
like you sprung it on him. Like part of the big conversation you guys did have, even though apparently he thinks you guys never talk, my understanding is that you guys spoke and part of the ultimatum of, take some time off, I'll take some time off, then reconvene with IDM and all that. You made it very clear that you also wanted to have this side project
yeah,
and that, I'm assuming he okayed it.
yeah, dude. He told me
When
he
when
wishes the best.
Yeah, like when we talked about it on our first episode last week, we mentioned, or at least I particularly mentioned, that I wanted synergy from the show. You know what I mean? Like it's not like this was some secret covert operation where you sprung it on him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Then maybe he can have an argument of you trying to siphon or whatever, or be upset. But this is something you guys clearly talked about ahead of time,
yeah, yeah.
right? I
And
mean, I
also,
don't.
dude, I'm not. You know me, dude. I'm not a dude who like likes to talk myself up or fucking say how much important I am to whatever. But
Yeah,
I can I'm pretty sure, like I can confidently say that the majority of the IDM listeners would like to be aware of what it is that like I'm doing in
yeah,
addition
of
to,
course.
you know, like
Yeah.
I don't think I'm out of pocket, as they say in the streets, to be like,
Mm.
hey, I know I've mentioned this on the show. Here it is if you're interested. If not, cool, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, So, anyways, but like also, dude, I'm fucking baffled by how like this is his approach to me after
Yeah.
everything that happened last night.
Yeah, how
And I'm
tone deaf. Like even if he didn't do it maliciously, like we were saying, like it's kind of hard to tell the intentions if he was trying to sabotage, if he thought he was killing it, whatever it may be. The day after, he should have at least been like, "Hey, did this not come off like I wanted it to?" Or, "Hey, my bad, I had a few and I wasn't thinking straight." Or, "Hey, that went well. What did you think?" Like something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the fact that he was just gonna blow. I mean, I guess he never actually spoke to you, but he was. You said he was sending you the screenshots of him
yeah.
talking,
He was like, yeah,
essentially talking shit about you to Coop,
yeah.
and then he sent you the screenshots.
I like, bro, did you mean to send me that?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. He's like, this
that's
is where
like
my
that's
head's
like
at.
yeah, dude. That's like aggressive, passive aggressiveness.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, your head, it couldn't be in the like this is this is like the problem in a nutshell. Like you don't understand how big of an issue the main issue is. And
Yeah,
no matter how many people are like, yo, we gotta address this. It, it's not gonna like, it's not gonna take precedence over whatever you think in your mind you want to do
Yeah.
first, you know?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I
And
was, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
No, just like I was pretty upset about that. And I was like, dude, you don't you don't have the balls to fucking apologize to me about what you did like that last night. Like that was insane. That was a shit show, blah blah. And then he's sending me screenshots of like the couple of people that said they enjoyed it, you know, to
Mm,
justify what he did. So like
mm,
he's sending me Brad Payne. We love Brad Paints. Brad Paints is here watching right now. Shouts to Brad Paints.
yeah.
Brad Paints.
Yeah.
But BBT was like, I thought that was hilarious. Shorts is sending me screenshots, you know, of other
Yeah.
people. He's like, you know, that's the thing about a podcast. It's objective. Different people find different things entertaining. I'm like, dude,
That.
now you're going on defensive about this shit.
Yeah. Well, and it might be true. Some people like stuff other than different than others and all that. But I think the main issue here is like I said, it's the timing of everything.
Yeah.
Like knowing that you guys are going through all these issues, and then he's being very aggressive about it. When if he really was, I feel like if I put myself in your shoes, right? eh, He's not showing in any way that anything is going to change.
Mm.
So even if he thinks, let's say it wasn't malicious, because like I said, I've said that several times already. I don't know if it was. It could be seen that way. But let's say he really was trying to do what's best, what he thinks is best for the show, and I guess trying to prove to you that he knows better, I guess.
Mm.
But it, you guys are supposed to be in a team, a partnership, and you're in a moment where you need it for your own friendship, mental stability between the show, between you guys. You need a little bit more clarity, or at least effort to show that he is trying to change the things that you've already spoken to him that are upsetting you or making things difficult. There
Yeah.
is no light at the end of the tunnel from what it looks like here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to just, back you up because you're my boy and all. It's just from what it looks like if I don't know, like if there was if there was a path that you could be like, well, this is his way, like, he doesn't like to admit stuff or whatever, but he's doing this and this behind the scenes that shows me that things might get better, or he's trying to improve or change, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everything you're saying is on top of the fact, like you mentioned earlier, that he doesn't seem like he's taking anything seriously of what you've asked him to do as a friend and as a co-host to make things better between you guys to do a show.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly,
So,
dude.
so what? You're just gonna keep going in circles, and you're gonna have to do this all over again, in a couple months? Like
Yeah,
what?
man. Yeah. I know, dude. Yeah. I
It's
can't.
it's a tough spot.
And dude, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that like pisses me off the most about it. And I said this like on the Oathcast when I was explaining like where I was coming from. When I got those texts from him, I'm
Yeah,
fucking like I've got like I'm almost shaking. I'm so angry, you know?
yeah,
I'm like, dude, are you fucking joking me? And then I'm ignoring my whole family. I'm ignoring my kids. I'm fucking furiously
mm,
texting on my phone. And I'm like, this
yeah,
is the type of shit I'm trying to get out of my life. You know,
yeah,
these moments where I'm just fucking like consumed with this negative energy because I can't believe I'm in this, you know, this social
yeah,
situation that I'm in.
yeah,
And so it sucks when that happens too, because I'm like, I don't want to. I mean, I'm literally ignoring my kid. My kid's like asking me something. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like
yeah,
so
yeah,
focused on like, I can't believe this is happening right now. And I'm
yeah.
trying to like get all that shit out of my life, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so anyways, so dude, if we're just going back, if we're just going by contractual obligations, I asked for A, B, and C. And I thought they were pretty
Yeah,
simple, and C was violated immediately. And I'm being like shit talked about wanting him to stick to it, you know?
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so nothing I asked for is being taken seriously at all. And in fact, you're mad about B, you're mad about the
Yeah.
podcast bit.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, this is it, man. I can't do it anymore,
Mm.
And I thought a lot about it. I'm like, this professional relationship is not working,
Mhm.
the only power I have, people have been hitting me up. Yo, have you tried doing this with him? Have you tried doing this? Have you tried? The only power I really have over him is to walk away, you
Yeah.
know? Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Like might be he, you know, he might need some time, like we've been talking about, but he's clearly not taking it. Well, you kind of got the only thing you can do is to force the time on him. You know what I
yeah,
mean? For him
yeah.
to figure it out because nothing else is working.
And
And
this isn't
it's
like a spur of the moment decision. This is like,
yeah.
dude, I've tried to be patient. I've tried, like, you're not taking anything I'm saying seriously. This is it, man. Like,
Mhm.
you know, um,
Yeah.
so it sucks, and
Yeah.
he's
It's a big
sending me a
bummer.
bunch of other texts like I'll never trust anybody again, basically saying I betrayed him and shit like that. And I'm like, dude, if you got to tell yourself that
So
to
I was gonna ask that in a second. After the screenshots and all that, have you guys spoken again after after the Reddit post
he was
where
like
you
talking
where you
he
ended the
was
show or
well, okay, these are my interactions with him. I posted something on Twitter letting people know what was going on. And
Mm,
a couple people were like super friendly, like, "Hey, man, we understand." Blah blah blah. My dog Dave Slizlot, who I was in Boston with last week, was like, he said something, and I was like, "Yeah, man, it sucks, but I gotta do, what's best for me." Short's response to it with a eye roll emoji, like
mm,
the most
yeah,
passive aggressive shit you could do. And then
yeah.
Shorts is like, not being super angry, but being like mopey angry towards me, like,
Mm.
uh I thought I could trust you, this and that. And I'm like, dude, if you gotta tell yourself that to like,
Yeah.
I gotta be the reason that this has happened for you to understand, fine. But you gotta understand your role in this. And until you do, you're never gonna fix like the things that need to be
And
fixed.
and also, wasn't he the one who quit the show first when this all started?
Yeah, that's a
Like
good point.
publicly and by surprise without telling you anything when you
Yeah.
guys had agreed on something else. And not to pile on the guy, but at this point, I mean, let's talk about the whole thing. Maybe this is what he needs to hear. Because one of
Yeah.
the things that with the commenters, and I think maybe on the Patreon we can get more direct comments, direct with the listeners' comments, because I know a lot of people have things to say about this whole thing. But
I kind of like tadpoles. I don't
yeah,
know.
but
Uh,
it's like he, it's it's passive aggressive, but it's also like master deflection, or maybe not so master, really blunt deflection.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
is he not going to acknowledge that he started this whole thing by unexpectedly quitting the show and leaving you scrambling for that, and then you trying to resolve it, and then he also tried to resolve, but he's taking no accountability towards any of this at
It's so
all.
weird, dude. It's
Like,
so
sure,
weird.
blame, say, he can go at you or whatever because he might be angry or whatever it may be, but I feel like you guys did this for 3 years. Like, it's not, like it's not something that should be taken lightly. I don't think you're taking it lightly, but he's kind of just putting it all on you, and it's something that this didn't happen overnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, it's it's
Um,
it's 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 so strange the way he's reacting. Like, how do you, again, trying to put myself in your shoes? Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah,
He's not
man.
helping himself.
It's it's shitty, dude. It's shitty. But like, dude, I care so little. I care about IDM, but I care so little about IDM in comparison to like, I want him to fucking like
Yeah,
take care of this shit, And he probably thinks I don't give a shit about him right now,
yeah. Well,
Like,
that's I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That it's crazy that he's separating this only as an IDM thing. Like you guys have been friends for years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was the whole. I mean, that was the whole point of the show. You know what I mean? It's just friends first. You know what I mean? And he's. I don't understand why he's. I guess he can argue that you're the one who's quote unquote blowing it up, but I would.
Yeah.
I think I'm not by myself thinking that he's doing a lot of the blowing up himself too. You know what I mean? The blowing it up.
Dude. I've seen every single episode of Intervention, even Intervention in Canada.
Of course.
I'm not saying he needs one, but
yeah.
I see. I don't want to say this.
There's patterns.
Well, basically, it's always the same thing. A mother does not want to be honest about, the 41-year-old son that's living in her house who's clearly like addicted to oxys or whatever. She keeps like paying for everything, blah, blah. And the most difficult thing that she has to do, but also the only thing that will, that will make him like change is being like, all right, we're done. We're done doing this shit, and I'm not saying his problems are like that or anything like that, but that's almost like where I feel like my head is at. I'm like, we can't keep fucking doing this thing, man. Like, I'm serious, it sucks. I don't want to do this, but we have to, something has to change.
It's like the whole, like, sometimes you can't help, obviously you can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. So a lot of times you have to quote unquote let the person hit rock bottom. And it's almost like, I'm not talking about his real personal life or anything, but in the podcast world, you're kind of letting him hit rock bottom. You know what I mean? Because it's also unfortunate that the IDM's last episode was that, 3 different 11-minute segments because he couldn't keep it together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's your only thing you could do in the podcast world is to let him hit podcast rock bottom, if that makes any sense. I know, you know what I mean? Like, real life is real life, but
Anyways, we gotta hop on the Patreon. We gotta come up with a name for it. I was thinking like the hookah hang or something like that. But you want to go through some of these comments real quick before we do that, because we got a lot of them.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, real quick, Ernesto giving a shout out to Team Morocco winning to get today versus Haiti. That was pretty tight.
Nice.
Let's see. Ernesto sent some Venmo. I appreciate that, Ernesto. Let's go into the On-Held Microphone Fund. Guy's Closet says, now that we know Shorts was all right. Oh no, you read the
okay. Now that we know Shorts was legitimately crazy, I think the Casper stories were exaggerations or lies. It is actually impossible that the Emma Stone Uber story was anything but a lie.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
Who knows, dude? Who knows?
I don't know. Shorts is. I think everyone kind of figured out what Shorts was, if he's crazy or not, or the level of it.
Yeah.
Wired says
you gotta be really naive to believe that Emma Stone. Let's see.
It was probably Emma.
Oh, Matt Starcheck. Matt Starcheck. Last night, as a listener, felt like a last straw.
I read that earlier. Yeah.
Okay. My bad.
I can. No. I'm saying I can relate. I'm just adding to that. It was a comment that.
Oh yeah.
I noticed. Yeah. Shorts constantly victimized himself despite being part of the anti-victim bro culture, and ranted about free speech so much despite hosting a pod where he said the craziest shit imaginable. Yeah. I mean, it's part of the issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude. Not being. I think there's a little bit of lack of self-awareness, unfortunately. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, we got Junkies Royalty in the house. D Woods says not good.
Oh, nice. Hopefully it doesn't mean my audio.
Christian L7, not trying to stir the pot, but do you think the 2 vids you posted with new quote unquote new co-host in the thumbnail sent him over the edge? Not making excuses for him, but I could see that really messing with him. Yeah, maybe. I mean, when he was on vacation, I did a show with Brendan and then on Hell, and I said new co-host tryouts. But dude,
how could he not see that was a bit? It's not like Brendan's going to be a new co-host.
I know.
Like
I know.
I can understand if he gets a little salty if it's me. You know what I mean? I feel like there's always been a little bit of a small tension rivalry there. You know, I get it.
Yeah.
I try not to play into it.
I mean, dude, every time we're away, one of us was away from the show, like we would take the opportunity to like kind of throw jabs at the other. Like, you know, Shorts. If I was sick or something, Shorts would be like, you know, when I had the flu, Othman is dealing with a quote unquote cold right now. So, like, I don't know, man. But honestly, dude, if that is enough to get, that's on you, man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but you might be right. You might be right, Chris.
And again, maybe maybe you weren't meeting person to person with them, but that's something the simple text could have resolved. Be like, hey, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I stand by that.
Part.
I think that's a hilarious bit.
I do too. I'm just saying that if it was something that upset him, like you could send a text message. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you could have been like, hey, what the fuck, dude? You know what I mean?
That's true.
I didn't like that bit or something. You know?
I
you know.
Dave says, yeah, I was surprised you weren't more pissed last night. You played it off well. I wanted to be pissed, but I was like, just do a fucking nice show, Othman. Like, relax.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Guys
and
Closet.
Also,
sorry.
Yeah. Shorts
mistakes. You got it.
I'll get into it in a second, but
all right.
Shorts mistakes ranked. Number 1, having a child in his non-marital situationship. Number 2, turning down the FedEx job. That's a big one. Number 3, lying to Bob over interviewing was no big deal, but doing a pod about it when Bob subscribes. ... Yeah, I mean, I guess we could do a whole show about ranking these things.
yeah.
You know.
And Dave Sandine says, let's go sports and politics. We'll get into it. Yeah, I don't. That's my side of things. This show's not going to be like a part of the IDM universe or anything. This is its own standalone thing. But I know people were interested in like hearing what happened or what's going on, so I felt like we should do that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got to be realistic too. I mean, the numbers. There's a lot of people that came in specifically because they want to know what's going on with IDM. You know, we're not going to pretend like that's not a reality, and we want to give people what they want.
Yeah,
you know
for
what
sure,
I mean?
For sure.
Moving forward, I this is kind of what I think you and I are thinking about. Is exactly this. Like, we're not going to have what's the top 10 headline topics and stuff. We're just going to talk about our lives. If we see something in the headlines that piques our interest or we found funny or interesting or whatever, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think today is a good showing that it's not like we're going to put up any walls about anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
I would hope to know that if people are coming on here, it's because they want to talk to us. You know, see what we're thinking about, whatever it may be. You know, even if it is a little sport and politics. Like, I don't think either of us are qualified or even like talking politics, for example. You know what I mean? But if there's a good joke that we can talk shit about, we'll do it. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And also, if you guys really want to hear the real shit I feel about Shorts, consider signing up for the Patreon. Patreon.com.
There we go.
Tajin and Tostones. But yeah, we're gonna hop over there. Got some stories for that. For the people who have already subscribed, you'll see the link in the feed for our Patreon. If not, we're gonna do this every Wednesday, I think, right? That work for you?
Yeah, that works.
All right, dogs, players, and pimps. For the Patreon subscribers, we'll see you in 2 minutes. For the non-subscribers, fuck off. No, I'm kidding. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.